Hey guys, Jim here, and it's a Friday evening. I'd like to shoot a quick video to share with you how to actually build powerful habits. As you know, I am the author of 21 Powerful Habits to Live a Fulfilling Life Now. And I'm going to share with you 5 steps on how to create new habits, and not only create them, but to sustain them so that these habits in time to come will serve you. Because it's the saying that goes, at first, you run your habit, and at the end, your habit runs you. Alright, so let's cut to the chase and dive in. So step number 1 is to utilize this principle called the power of 1. You see, there's so many habits that we can learn to harness. However, if you're scattered and if you're trying to do too many things at one time, you're probably not going to get anything done. So why do I say so? Because I'm a living example of someone who always tries to do a lot of things. Right? No doubt I'm a multitasker, but in order to really focus and really get that habit in your veins, you have to utilize this power of 1 habit. So the next question, a normal question is, how long do I need to focus on this habit until it becomes automatic, right? Some people say 21 days, some people say 60 days, some people say 90 days. For me personally, I think 21 days is pretty easy, right? For most people, you'll be able to achieve 21 days. But the challenge comes on day 22 onwards because, we all have a willpower, we all have the mental stamina. So if you focus on just one, when you hit day 60 or day 90, depends on the individual, but 90 days as on average, you'll probably be able to minimize that amount of mental willpower required, right, to take action on that single habit. So over time, just an analogy, this is the amount of mental energy required on day 1, okay, day 1, and day 60, and day 90. So it will drop like that. If you are persistent, and if you are consistent, it will drop like that, and continue to go down. Right? So realize when you start to pick up the habit, be it jogging, be it exercising, reading a book, after doing it for a certain amount of time, or perhaps a few years, you realize that it becomes enjoyable. Right? You realize that it becomes something which is in your daily routine, and it becomes, something like if you don't do it, you feel there's something missing, right? And that's when you know that your habit has become automatic. Just for example, brushing your teeth. You don't even think about it. You don't even need to drag yourself to the bathroom to brush your teeth, right? So that is a good example. So the first one is the power of 1. The second one is called reason. So you need to know your reason for creating that habit. If you don't know the why, you never get the how. Right? You need to know why are you actually harnessing this habit. Why do you want to create this habit? How will it serve you to become who you want to become, or who you need to become. So there's a lot of sayings out there. There is, know your why, know your motivation, whatever it is, all right? Because it's just different ways of saying it. Know your reason, right? And personally, I feel that over the years, working with, what is my why, I realized that if your why has an element of someone else, or you're doing this to serve or to contribute to something, not just yourself, it will probably be stronger than the reason to do it for yourself. Just for example, our parents, right? When you're growing up as a kid, when you're going to school, they have to work so that they can support you, they can put food on the table, and that is their why. Right? That's their reason why they're working. Do you think that they want to really work? I mean, some parents, they might be workaholics, they love to work, they love to be productive, but if they can spend time at home with you without having to worry about money, do you think that they will still be working? I don't think so. So that is a good analogy of knowing your reasons, right? So part of your reason has to be for yourself, and part of the reason to make it more powerful and to make the habit more sustainable, try to include something else besides yourself. And it comes from a place of contribution, something that you want to give back. So think about your reason, right? Step number 3 is your reward. This is freaking important, alright? So, I'm sure you tried to create a habit or to start a habit, and then maybe perhaps one day you forget to do it, and then you start beating the crap out of yourself, right? Don't do that. If you miss one day, it's okay. I mean, the main thing is your intention. The main thing is, you didn't mean it, okay? So forgive yourself, carry on. Next day, just continue to do it. And when you do it, set score for yourself. Just for example, if you manage to do it for like 1 week straight, right, reward yourself. Think of something simple. It doesn't have to be like you are going to open a party, spend thousands of dollars kind of thing. Perhaps, just buy a bottle of beer for yourself, or go catch a movie, buy a bottle of red wine. Doesn't even have to be drinking. Maybe you can go singing or something which you enjoy, right? So remember to reward yourself, because this is very important. If you want to create a new habit, don't beat yourself up, right? Reward yourself when you are on the right track, okay? Just like taming, right? Imagine that you're taming the pet, or you're taming the monkey within you, right? Because at first everything's pretty messy, it's tough, it's messy, but in the end, it's going to be beautiful, right? Step number 4 is to remind yourself. Part of the reasons why a lot of people fail to create or even sustain a habit is that they fail to remind themselves. You see, we have the tendency to forget, right? So we have to set triggers that will remind us to do it. Not necessarily do something at the same time every single day. I mean, it works for some people, it doesn't work for some people. For me, as long as I get it done on that day, it works for me. Right? I prefer a loose structure rather than a strict structure which I cannot follow, and then I start beating myself up. Right? You want to feel good, most importantly, so that you will keep going on. Right? So remind yourself. Perhaps your new habit is meditation. Right? So you prefer to do it in the morning when you just wake up, or at night when you got home after shower before you go to bed. So what you can do is you can set a reminder, an alarm clock or something, perhaps 2 alarm clocks, one in the morning and one at night, and label it meditation. So in that case, right, even if you forget or some unexpected situations or something come up, you will at least still remember that you have this habit, keep to it, because it's going to be important to you. Once you focus on the habit, you know the reason, right? You reward yourself, you remind yourself, then the habit will be on track. And your goal, remember, is to be consistent, right? So that the willpower required will drop and it becomes automatic. Once it hit automatic, then you will have a good green check, right? And then you will start to have that habit serve you and help you to become who you want to become. Upgrade, right? Last step starts from S, is called scale. Okay? So, one point which I want to touch on is when you start doing a habit, right, you want to start small. Right? Think big, but start small. Just for example, meditation. You are reading a book. You don't want to start reading like 4 chapters a day, right? You want to start with something so small, so simple that anyone can do it, that your mind will say that, of course I can do it, right? You want to convince yourself that this is a sure thing, right? You can continue to do it. So let's say if you are trying to start reading or start the habit of reading, perhaps start with 1 page a day. Simple enough? Not simple enough? How about 1 paragraph? Right? I bet your mind must be saying, of course I can do that, right? So start with 1 paragraph or 1 page or 10 pages or 1 chapter, whatever suits you, okay? And then when you come to 60 days or every month, at the end of every month, you come and do a reality check, reflection of yourself. And what you want to do is, if you feel that this month has been pretty good and the amount of willpower is required is not as much as before, then guess what? It's time to scale, right? So when you want to scale, you want to bring up like reading 1 page to 2 pages, or maybe just a little bit stretch. You don't want to go too far, because too far you probably drain too much of the willpower, and then in the end you end up losing it, or you end up quitting the habit, which is the worst thing or the last thing you want to do. So to recap, right? Step 1 is the power of 1. To focus on just 1 habit until it becomes automatic. Next is reason. Know your why. Right? Part of your why, besides for yourself to become who you want to become, is to also contribute, right? To serve other things. Think about other people, maybe your family, your loved ones, or for a greater cause. Right? Number 3 is reward yourself. Don't beat yourself up. If you miss a day or 2, just carry on. Intention is the most important. And treat yourself nice, please, okay? Step 4, to remind yourself to set triggers so that you won't forget. And step 5, to scale, to bring up a habit. So in the end, right, the habit runs you. If it's a good habit, you get better results, right? And that's what we want. So hope you enjoyed this video. I created it in quite a rush, but I hope you understand. And if you haven't subscribed to my email personal evolution newsletters, you can do so. I'll provide a link right below, and you can download your free ebook, 21 Powerful Habits to Live a Fulfilling Life Now. Right, this is Jane, sincerely connecting your passion. Don't live to please, live to be free. Signing off.